Had good breakfast apparently this morning.
Yeah.
He's taking lessons from Joystick. He's taking some humans for breakfast.
Delicious.
Delicious, absolutely. And 18 on 5 and 18 on 6 in that first map. And we all know Coastline, also Chalet, but Coastline for first. Very frag-heavy map to come in. It is often decided on these final gunfights, on these plays that just happen out of nowhere sometimes. And Bolo, well, you just saw him run in deep behind the pillar, grab a triple kill to make sure that the round was locked out for TSM. If he manages to do that quite a bit, well, then you might find yourselves in a deficit if you're BDS. If you cannot reply and respond to that yourself, and then you're looking over on the other side, everybody was negative. -1 Renshiro, -2 Bride, -2 Rafal, -3 LMs, and -5 Shaiko, who according to many is the best fragger in the game. But Bolo's trying to say, you know what? That belt is mine.
Hey, he's doing more than that. He's taking it, getting it engraved, putting his numbers on it.
I see out at the same time, you know, getting all those diamonds in. He's setting it up. But Blue Bar Sunrise, first sight we go. BDS is out on the attack. And as mentioned before, it is a very, very balanced map in terms of win percentage. 54% defense favored. That means there's about an 8% difference between the two sides.
Oh.
4 in favor and then 4 negative. Either way.
Differences. Sixth pick there, the bait of the Glaz to the Zofia. It gives a hint of a gameplay and then shifts obviously instantly to a very different one. You have Glaz in, I guess, 2 roles. Is often you'll see it in either back on the side of Ruins, which is like, meh, on the top of the building itself, covering the rotations around the backside of luggage, or if they want to try and bury themselves down 90, and sometimes even beneath, if you can get that sharpness of the angle, you can dig yourself in towards the back of lobby, or around on the other side towards kitchen. Okie dokie. Then if you want to do the extreme version, it's smoke plays. It's kind of getting in close. So they're giving off the idea if we might be doing any of this. I guess they're hoping that TSM fall for the other one. In the other time, obviously Valk is the swap there, just trying to find a place to hide that camera.
Decided to just yeet it out.
Lob out the window.
Just get it out of the window. Make sure that you find out whether or not players will be repelled up or on the hookah, for example. It's Gio going all the way around and still deciding where to toss that last Valkyrie Black Eye cam. Of course, checking for drones as well. Maybe one was hidden in the wine rack, but not the case. And that leaves us now with 2 minutes 30 left as Rafal quickly getting the flowers out of the way so he can just land on top of that plateau.
Achieved under a bit of pressure on the penthouse side. First of all, there is a body to offer some recompense. We talked about how before TSM were very mobile with their defense. Coastline doesn't offer much space. Coastline is so dangerous. You don't have that breathing room to sort of find new spaces here. So Shaiko, he's burying deep. They spray around, but there's a man on the backside. It's Bolo locked on 90. Lems at least gets Gio for the trouble and finds his way just to the crux of the site itself. They get one more kill on the bottom of Cool Vibes, but it's Merc as an angel from the heaven above to stop it. With the hot pings coming on the man with the diffuser, he knows he can't play dangerous as Bolo gets behind the bar and gives him a shot of bullets. The worst kind, as it takes him out for the rest of the round and the evening. It's now suddenly a site taken and retaken steadily, and we find ourselves in a 3 versus 2 as Rafal creeps up the back stairs. Bride is the man with the diffuser. He's very isolated on the opposite side, so they're hoping they can get one pinch, gives the game away, but the extension around the door or kitchen is the danger right now. The sprays are above. They are well aware of where he is. They need to time this to perfection, because otherwise all guns are currently faced towards one man.
And they have it achieved, just swings in, gets that final kill, and it's only up to Bride now, gets one to start it off. Still a player above and still Bolo behind the bar that you need to deal with in this case. And as a drone is being set up, maybe as a flank watch, not quite sure what the deal behind this is yet. Oh, they have it. They spot out the elbow, know that the hatch is currently being watched. And, well, they should be well aware of the fact that Bolo was playing behind that bar. And as Bride now putting up the pressure, he's going to be trying to get the kill onto the Jaeger that is going to go for the run now. How is that not being covered by the players on the drone? They should be aware of the fact that he is either behind his bar right now as he tries to put down some pressure. 40 seconds is plenty of time for him to try and make it work.
That's the main thing right now. He has loads of time. It's just seeing if he can get a bite of either of these two players. Bolo isn't and doesn't really have to move too much, but Merc, in the meantime, has opted for this drop-down rotation. He's realized there's 20 seconds left, may as well set themselves up for this 2 versus 1. They've got to come into the site, whatever happens, and he's not in a situation where he can stick it. That would be, well, the end of the round, however it goes. This way, they have that extension. They have the swing on the left. They have the one slightly deeper. He has to diversify his push. Pops up at the perfect time, and yet again, it's back for the double, but the bar is closed.
The bar is closed indeed. Try to dig himself right behind the bomb chassis. That way you only had to deal with Bolo, get that kill out, because then you could go for a plant. But you can also go for the challenge. So you try to put himself in a good position there. Bride, unfortunately for him, not allowed to get that far as TSM shut him down. And I believe it's going to be 5-0 in the Bolo versus Shaiko mark. Is well, he got quite close for a while. There was a bunch of trades, but at that point it was 3-3, and suddenly TSM were like, till here and no further.
Well, if you're wondering if Bolo was still playing the same way he was in the last map,
looks like it.
Looks like it. Looks like it. Able to open up with a triple there, was across the map. Took the first one up in 90.
Yeah.
You know, it's this curiosity of that sort of play where they knew that there was a presence inside Projector and Theater, and they had an idea that there was a presence on Billiards, so they decided to cut themselves in the middle as the risk of the reward of the Lems going onto the site itself tried to pay dividends. But you know that TSM are quick to react. You know they're quick to offer cover, so it's a very costly gamble at the end of it.
10 seconds to go.
All right. Round number 2 is underway, and we said that BDS needed to deal a punch early on in this matchup if they wanted to have a chance of bringing it up to Chalet, where they then would find themselves on map number 3. So far, the punch hasn't been dealt with. It's TSM that was able to land the first blow, and are now 1 round ahead. They are, of course, trying to bring that into their own hands. There's a bit of work they need to do. They need to make sure that Bolo's not allowed to play as freely, as effectively as he has been throughout the previous map, and as he started off doing right into the first round here. Charlotte goes down first. It's definitely a good start.
Well, Lems, he's able to dig in and get that early body. The smoke canisters are taken off the table, which is such a big blow to the utility of the stand hold on Hookah. It was just a swing pitched perfectly and punished by a Frenchman who is desperately trying to claw themselves in. Was a big part of the play of any of BDS's rounds and games, and is going to make sure that this isn't their final swan song this time this year, as they know the responsibilities that are on them. The mantle and the protection that is offered from underneath is slowly falling. They've been able to get themselves back into office. They have the danger that might be applied with that C4 in the pocket of Achieved. It's just waiting for the call that we know where they are. When will it get ripped, torn, and blown?
The big question, of course, is pressure coming down from Aqua. Achieved still below. Just holding off there, and there comes the C4. Perfectly timed, had the vertical angle, could see when he was around on the C4 and detonated it to bring it back to a 4-on-4. And while Rafale is still holding off on the angle, there could be an opportunity for a flank here on the side of TSM, especially with Bolo just dancing around the staircase. Or is the drone, however, managed to pick it up as Merc goes down.
Yeah, Merc dropped just at the top of Cool Vibes from a bit of a swing from Renshiro. No grenades to finish the job, at least in his pocket, though, so he might be able to get some cover. It's Shaiko digging deep yet again, is able to drop Valkyrie, pops back in to VIP to give himself some safety, but then instantly pops back out, refreshed, recharged, and tries to get the double. Can't quite lock it on the close fight around the vases. It's Renshiro, though, that gets one. Merc back to his feet with Achieved. Doubling down, and everything is starting to explode over Cool Vibes, though suddenly we have some space. And Bride is going to do what he does best out of anyone in the tournament statistically, with the cover coming through. It's a post-plant situation. The second round in, Merc is now trying to battle back. It's a similar story to how the previous map played out, where it was 1-for-1 apiece, and the first plant rocked itself on the second time. Merc, he's already bit the dust once, but can he find anything here? The upside down rappel, the spread onto luggage, it doesn't look good.
Definitely doesn't look good. It's almost an unwinnable position here as he goes for the defuse. Surely they will find themselves an angle if they try and run in. Oh, Rafale might expose himself just a bit too much there, but Bride swings in, gets that kill, secures the round for BDS. But the big difference here is And I'm not sure if you realized, when TSM win a round, they explode. BDS just won a round and it was just a quick, let's go. And that's it.
It's a very different team dynamic.
It is.
It's something that we've always talked about from them, from a standpoint. If you'll see it in the player cams, if you ever watched live and had the joys of seeing live top tier Siege, as far as the volume of BDS goes, as far as the energy levels in terms of the players themselves go, Alems is it. Alems is that train. Alems is the drive of the team. And yeah, it's relief, it's energy, but you see how it's a lot more sort of... complacent isn't the word that I want to use. Low-key is probably a better way of putting it, because it's not in anything a good or a bad thing. But on this stage, when you've got TSM being so vocal after everything, and you don't have the roar of the crowd, you don't have that energy, I think you got to have a bit more of a response. You got to bite back. You can't just do it from gameplay.
Definitely got to bite back. As good round for BDS on all around. Able to find the trades, and even though it was being brought back just a little bit by TSM, they were able to get that plan down. Brede, the man who's had so many already and almost definitely will be closing out the tournament as the top planter. There's almost no way that he's going to be giving that one away, even if they get eliminated here right now.
Someone would have to do 15 plants over their main against catch up.
Yeah, exactly. And that is, I believe, Empire is the one that is currently second. So they are maybe facing a knockout themselves as well. So it's not looking good for the people that want to plant.
Well, Bolo is playing this sort of aggressive game now again. They've messing around is the politest way of putting it, but those vigil scans, those lines on this map, which is so thin and so flat, is such a problem. It's the best way of battling against those big corners because it really constricts and limits a whole edge. It makes it a bit tricky because if an entire team coalesces, then, you know, they know what corner you're in, and in Coastline, a corner is 25–30% of the map. It's not a big place, and there's not a lot of way in or way out. But BDS aren't really playing that. They're trying to get rough ideas and concepts of the holds and then punishing them, or attempting to, from that point onwards.
Putting up some pressure here from Hookah, Belker, and Shiro, whilst the rest of his team is trying to loop around. Bolo is being put under a bit of pressure. Drones are trying to follow him, but of course the Vigil with the ERC-7 having the opportunity to stay relatively unknown. Of course, they will find out that he's around that position. Impact nades are attempted to be used to either take care of a air jab or a drone that was located on the top of it. It seems like Bolo's just standing by for now, and the flank watch is there. Rafale is holding it off. They need to make sure that that part of the map is under control if they want to go for a plant on the default spots, and that's exactly what they're setting up for with these explosions onto the pool table, dealing with the utility that has been placed there. And Brede just waiting for the call, waiting for the opportunity to dig himself in and go for it. No smokes on BDS, however, and that means they need to make sure that it will stick. They need to make sure that the cover is there for a potential push or a retake position from Hookah itself.
No smokes on their side, but 3 in the hands of TSM, all with Charla locked off. Was obviously a very early drop and a big regret as the play came through. This grenade does catch Gio. He was attempting to crawl his way out of there as the first canister pops, and the second, making sure the rotation comes through. It's wide, though. There's a big spray around the backside as Shaiko goes for one fight, but I think, no, it's Bolo gets dropped in an exchange. Suddenly, BDS is exploding their way onto site. Merc goes for one achieved, goes underneath, and Brede goes for one more plant. The cover is there. And unfortunately, achieved is not. Arrives at the station, but it's already left. And it set itself up in a 4 versus 1. Not for very long, though. And BDS tie 2 in a row.
These rounds are the rounds that we talk about when BDS need to land a punch and deal it out to TSM. This was a very good round. They managed to get the openings. Great grenade to start it off with on the player that was prone beneath the Hookah window. And from there on you can snowball. And then suddenly you have a Lems that is on that big window trying to challenge Charla, the smoke, who is on the back of sight. Able to pick up that kill as well. And then Brede knows, all right, I can go for the plan now. That is safe. As you see the grenade from both these angles here. Also, Bolo picked up on the flank watch. Beautifully played by Rafal.
Yeah, you saw him rotating around to the backside, but Rafal was still there, stoic. They knew that they could just throw themselves in the cover again when he needed to be there. Rafal was there. BDS, very important double down there, because if it was back and forth as it was before,
yeah.
Bomb located by attackers.
We said it, they need to win the first 3 rounds. That's what the desk mentioned. Well, they got 2 out of 3. That's still decent, I'd say. That's still an opportunity to find themselves into a good map here. And I think that it's important to mention that so far everybody in BDS is doing their job. Everybody is getting the kills that they need to get. No one is really losing out on gunfights that are crucial to the round to go a certain way.
5 seconds left.
And now we are going back to the bars. Now this was the site where TSM was able to shut down BDS.
The bomb.
As they were being picked up one by one by Bolo. Let's see if that is going to be happening again. Bolo actually not having any kills after round number 1. Of course, we're only in round 4 now, but it shows how well Rafal is on that flank watch, shutting him down.
it also shows how well he played in the previous map.
Yes.
It's like, oh, he's only on 3 kills at this point.
He's only 3
Charlotte,
kills.
yet again, is punished so early. Whether it's from positioning or the read, they aren't quite aware or aren't quite ready for this game. And that is, yet again, a player that can be a big backline
Off the pickup.
Well, yeah, they get him back up. They know that they need to get that carry, and Merc, the man on the mission, to save Charla. He's bloody, but he's standing. And he's able to slip past and pull back and escape a little. Buy some more time. It takes a single headshot to drop an opponent in this game, and that's one more gun that's firing on your favor. But look at the collapse here from BDS. They're trying to clear their way across the top. The concern might come from potentially the C4s in the hand of Achieved or Bolo. We've already seen one get dropped from that before. Here is Renshiro under pressure, under fire from the lock-off as Merc steadily pulls back. But look at Bolo on the far side, going for a bit of an adaptation. They are coalescing themselves closer to where they think the push is coming from, as it's Shaiko that opens things up.
Entry now this time for him. And as Charla is receiving some pressure, there it is. Renshiro on the window will be able to pick him up and is expecting a run out to happen, but it's not going to be the case as Bolo picks up the kill to Alems. That was the man that was coming to assist down in Billiards. The Nitro coming in clutch there, bringing it back at least a little bit here for TSM. As there is 70 seconds left, and now vertical pressure arises onto Bolo's head. Know exactly where he is, but BDS decide to go for a rotate now. They have the man advantage, they have the top floor control. They do no longer have to stay here as heavy as they do, and can finally start to work themselves towards the downstairs area.
Yeah, it's starting to try and crack down now on the site itself, which is in no way easy. Steady soft destruction clears and careens and just opens up these avenues and angles towards the back of the bar where they were punished for so much. There's a body on default, and Merc is looking towards the play around cool vibes, but he knows with the man disadvantage right now, they cannot overextend too much, something that has sometimes bit him on the back. And unfortunately, TSM then get punished later for it, but as default cracks open, they want to push this Sungo body out. Bolo blows an air jab on the far side, doesn't give the game away as Gio tries to stick in the default plant corner for as long as he can. It's the spray that'll matter, but it's Renshiro that drops it. There it goes, and that's the diffuser down cold. Gio dug in where he needed to, but Shaiko has the cover. It's all down to Merc, no more. BDS find their 3rd in a row.
Probably did not expect Shaiko to just swing by like that. Able to pick up the kill and able to, on the back of that, put some pressure towards the Sunrise bar. Merc knew the diffuser was dropped. Merc knew that the diffuser had to be planted in that case. And Dusty decided to watch that angle, but instead got flanked. That means we're currently in a 3-1 lead for BDS, and we have a tactical timeout that has been called in, and you can take a guess on what team it is. TSM, again, taking a talk. Last time around, it worked wonders for them. They were able to win 3 consecutive rounds on the back of it. And let's see if that is exactly what they need now. Just a quick talk, quick chat with the coach. See what has been going wrong. But I think we can really nail it down. Shaiko is actually doing something. He's not not as big as Bolo was the previous round, but he's getting the entries. He's getting these important kills, which do really help BDS.
Across the board. The energy, the confidence, they're going for these final 20-second executes, but they're making sure that all of the groundwork is punished. Before TSM on Oregon, their defenses, they were free for a long period of time to sort of play spaces as BDS would get one body into position and then try and do this with this other body around the side, and suddenly TSM is repositioned and you're in a tight spot. The pace difference and the approach difference, okay, it's coast, it's a fast map, but look at how much quicker BDS are reacting to these plays, and look at how much more seemingly aware of TSM they are, which was on the previous map, just up in the air all the time.
That's it, and I think we also can mention that Bolo not really allowed to make the plays he would like to make. Every single time he tries to go on a flank, and every single time it's Rafal or Enshiro that shuts him down and makes sure that he's not really having the impact he would like to have on these rounds. And it leaves us now in a situation where BDS leads over TSM, only in round count, mind you. TSM still having the first map under the belt, and that means that BDS are desperate to try and take this one. Cannot afford to lose this map, as that would be the tournament exit. And as I said, uncertainty if they're still allowed to live in France after that.
According to the official rulebook.
According to the official rulebook, that is.
I'm sure they can work something out. All right, TSM, all eyes on you right now, and I guess we'll pinpoint a couple of different changes here. The Frost coming out, Kitchen as a side itself, which otherwise hasn't been picked with these long, flat firing lines. You often see a lot of a lateral extension for some teams with a hold inside Sunrise on the back, which Bolo is the back line for. They have that stack up on the second story too as well, but BDS is giving flirts of danger, flirts of ideas of this is where we're coming from, and then restacking themselves. Rafal is already locking off the rotation on the top of White as the rest of this hammer of BDS wants to smack their way towards the anvil. Achieved is the medal that they want to work into another tick and another scratch on their KD. But it's actually Alem that suffers first with Merc on the back line. Look at that impact. Almost drops Alem's inside Hall of Fame, but scrapes enough damage to say, BDS, we're paying a lot of attention to you now.
Definitely paying a lot of attention, but I think you have to mention as well that the top 4 control is being, well, forfeited relative quickly. It's just achieved up right now, and it is an image we're used to be seeing from TSM. Achieved solo on the roam. Normally it was shut down quite quickly by the previous teams they have played, but BDS so far not been able to find these entries. And as I talk about an entry, it's Rinshiro that takes the kill down onto Chala. Again, Chala that goes off first, or one of the first. Very impactful considering the denial he carries.
Oh, Achieved slipped off the angle just as someone could have rewarded them for it, but the C4 catches the edge of Shaiko, and there's one for Merc on the far side. Rafal, your flank cover is gone. Achieved has been able to reconvene in a very aggressive stance here and potentially punish someone who doesn't know they've flooded back in. Bolo underneath is waiting for a drift on the angles. He's open just outside the door. It's BDS looking for a way through and a route, but with the low health of Shaiko and Alems, it won't take much to take him down. Same goes, no? As they get them from above and rain down upon them from VIP on the backside of Hall of Fame. It's so much pressure on this verticality. Achieved, though, could be the flaw in the plan. He sprays through, gives the game, and Alems punishes them 40 seconds.
Shaiko and Alem's both low on HP, but took that fight either way and managed to bring it home as well. It's only up to Merc and Geo now, a 2v4 clutch situation. You still see BDS taking up so much vertical control right here, using all their bridging charges and the hammer to make sure that they have every angle they desire. So, you can send Bride down to go and plant, so you can be very certain that all the cover will be there as necessary, but not enough for that. Geo just swings out and gets a very important kill. 10 seconds left on the clock, and he has the diffuser down.
They have to spray and dig their way through. The cam is giving all the hot pings. They've got to take the fight. They pre-fire and they plant, or they at least attempt to. Merc is the one man who might be able to stop this. Waits for the zero. Goes for the Holy Grail. Dropped by Shaiko on the cover, though.
There you have it. The cover is there, and what a round that was. If only he would have swung out at the moment that the red ping came through, he would have been able to drop that diffuser again once more. That would have been a TSM round if he manages to get those shots down, especially if you saw the HP that LMs was playing with. A single bullet was enough to take him down, but he managed to he just stuck in, he just dig himself deep in and was afraid to peek. Whilst the peek was exactly what was necessary. Just a pre-fire and you would have won the round right there. That's all you had to do. Because right now your feet stick out, you see it, LMs picks up that kill and goes for that plant. Then Shaiko just in time from above, just barely.
Just got there. So, you know how the official R6 Esports account was keeping a track of...
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Shaiko versus Bolo? Team
like
BDS, the BDS official account, it was 5-0 towards Bolo. Just responded as soon as that first kill went, 5-1.
Ah.
In terms of the BDS socials account, the game is on, apparently. And
it is on.
To be fair, we talked about it before, where after the previous attack timeout taken by TSM, they were then able to take 3 consecutive maps and win out. 3 consecutive rounds and win out the map. Not 3 consecutive maps. Here, instantly BDS being able to bite back, that's a bit of a demoralizer. Okay, they're on their attack and it's coast. The 4-2 split, as you said, isn't the most uncommon thing. But now, whatever happens, you know, it's football. For you American viewers, it's soccer. It's just the game that you've got to play in front of you. You don't have that time. You don't have the communication outside with the coach, with the manager. You've got to try and find a way to thread the beautiful game with the 45-minute halves that you're having left available to you. No more breaks in play.
The only way that TSM is allowed to speak to their coach again throughout this map is if BDS decide to call a tactical timeout. Because it goes both ways. You call a tactical timeout, both coaches, their mics get activated. They can have a quick chat. See what's up. See what needs to be changed. So that means that it's not always going to be helping you. Because the other team, if they had some issues, they get to get the opportunity to speak as well. K2 in the case here of BDS. Now, there is some teams that we actually do see take tactical timeouts, but they never really speak to their coach. For example, Shas was always quiet. Had his microphone the wrong way around, you would say, if he had it. Was never going to be able to speak. But either way, it is TSM that took the tactical timeout. It worked out well in Oregon. It didn't work out as well right now. And as BDS is looking to put up some pressure right here straight into the bomb side, this might be a very quick push. A breaching charge is coming in. Are they going to be trying to outrun Blue Bar and maybe get some early kills?
To be fair, it was the way Lems dug his way through the site before. They've been able to take them by a bit of surprise here. No mirror on the board, but Gio's going to lock in with the smoke and the place in the pillar he played before quite a lot. Pops anything that might be on the luggage door to allow themselves this rotation. If that goes unchecked and uncontested, you're always a bit concerned right now for Rafal. That's your flank watch. What's he watching? It's a drone that's on the back of lobby. Bolo, for now, is technically an unchecked entity. And if he gets a sniff and a whiff of a body that he might be able to punish for it, well, he obviously doesn't have it because he instead drops his way around to the other of security. Charla, though, with a double. Renshiro battles back and the push comes through onto site. The C4 pop, but it's Merc. Yet again from that hatch inside Hooker that's able to get some revenge. Rafal digs deep. Goes up top and drops the man with 50 seconds. They have plenty of time to reconvene and pull their way back down. There's still the C4s, though, that can be played as Shaiko scrapes the back of the blue bar, pops over the top, and rocks the world of the last man.
Shaiko!
There it is! 5-1 half for BDS.
Rafal cleans up that kill, the injury that he had before, and then the wallbang just came through. Cleaning it up. And Shaiko, just here again, I'm just going to say it for those who are keeping track, taking care of Bolo. They try to go for a flank down into security. That was being watched. The Ash was on patrol. And now a 5-1 scoreline here for BDS. And the first thing you see as soon as TSM is getting on their attacks are the Dokkaebi and the Line are coming out. They know that the roam play or the free play that BDS might bring now, they have a little bit more confidence in themselves. Could be troubling. So you gotta shut that down. The Nomad gets brought out, however. It is gonna be a quick 6-pick, as you see here again. Shaiko onto Bolo. Also a very important kill here from Rafal. And then technically the double kill from Shaiko, taking down Charla and achieved. Really setting BDS up for a great second half as they are now onto the defense themselves. And the Lems, the loud man he is. Apologizing. Sorry, I didn't mean to scream in your ear.
Hey, different approaches, but you Can't argue with the results. As I said, you kind of want them to get a bit vocal. You want them to get a bit... And it's not in the EU region. It's...
You heard what Pojaman said, though. Saying something in chat right after winning could be the nail in the coffin, so...
He did say that.
Who knows? Maybe BDS need to grab a page out of TSM strategy book.
They're not that sort of team. They play it on the field and occasionally have comments in a post-game.
Yeah.
They're always... I can't remember a moment where they've ever not been complimentary to their opponents. They're one of the few teams I think I've always known that's always said, every game is a tough game, every opponent's a great opponent. They're too nice.
Very respectful. That's
very respectful. In the meantime, I guess what they're doing right now, though, that scoreboard is a bit of disrespect. So they're going to see if TSM can try and claw some of that back. They have to rebuild on their attacks right now, and Bolo suffers before he even gets much further than Service served himself with a face full of Renshiro's bullets from range. A quick swing, though, and a quick rotation pushes them on the backside of lobby, where they might meet the other fate. Shaiko is holding down inside security, wants to swing around on this dangerous game. It's been a back and forth between these two, and it's another one on the board for Shaiko. The E1D growls, but there's no pickup. Merc, in the meantime, is trying to get the entrance here just on the backside of Sunrise, with the split being popped open, but there's no eyes, there's no reprieve that TSM has been offered, and for all the compliments we gave their attacks before on Oregon and being able to pull apart that early game, here they've seemed a little bit lost, as you can see them moving all the way across the top and entirely repositioning.
Shaiko going for a flank, might have been spotted out by the drone, but decides it's okay nonetheless and moves up. Has the opportunity to go for a big double kill here. If he moves in time, the E1D pops off, which will slow him down, as Achieve right now will be shot down by the shotgun of Brede, who gets down himself, but the cover is there. Shaiko secures his buddy, and it's only up to Geo now. The last man standing takes down one to start things off, but Shaiko comes around the corner, and now they're getting heated up on BDS. Now they're screaming.
They save it for map point.
They save it for map point.
Save it for map point, and you can see they are focused, lasered, locked in, and ready to try and take this one to the third map. This is one of those games where we had high expectations, and after the first map, you might not have believed those could have been matched.
Yeah, after the first map and Bolo being so on fire as he was, and then round number one comes in and he gets a triple kill, you're like, this could be a very quick game here. It could be a 2-0 if Bolo keeps that up, but if I'm quickly checking, only had one kill since the first round. He has been shut down almost to perfection by BDS, and mostly Shaiko, who has been able to, well, rack up the tally points into his favor this time in this map.
One round separates them from being able to take us for a lovely trip to Chalet as the final decider in this best of three. TSM, they've been quiet and they have everything left to do, and that's the unfortunate circumstance right now, is I believe in the previous map all of them were positive on KD. None of them have been able to find that mantle. It is a full force showing.
Yeah,
it's coming out from BDS. All right, Shaiko's gone 11-2. He's definitely stepped up. That cannot be denied and cannot be ignored, but it's across the board. Rafal is having an impact on that flank watch. Think of all the times he's been dedicated in a situation where previously it was punished by TSM. Renshiro, Alems, Brede, these three core players as well. It's a team of 5 masters of each of their own craft, and they've actually been able to turn something beautiful here, but that is in no way to not and discount what TSM can do. It's just they've got to do it all.
Got to do it all, and they have 5 rounds they need to bring back if they want to bring this to OT and close it out in a 2-0 fashion. And Shaiko, he's not planning on slowing down yet, 11-2. Might be aware of the fact that one could be on the Lambo door as it has opened up suddenly. It's a little bit of pressure from that door as well, and decides to just hold it. Why not? Why not peek it? try and get that kill. Try and make sure that you, again, get the opening here, because it can be so important, but instead it's a Lambs that just runs out, secures the kill right before Bolo takes him out, however, and now it's going to be Shaiko to go for the peek right there, but he will fail to get the shot down, rotates out into safety, decides that his life is worth more in this late round than it might be at the start, at the cost of taking down Bolo, potentially.
Merc gone in the trade there. It's not the worst blow for TSM. It's your entry off the board, sure, but his job is to get in that first confrontation, and Bolo, he made sure that his job was to make sure it wasn't for naught. Swung round, took care of a Lems, took care of a potential C4. The damage that the shotgun can do on the close swing. There's a minute 20 and still 4 more bodies to go through, and with Renshiro holding off on security, all their attention might currently be focused towards the kitchen itself, where we saw Shaiko dancing with, putting pressure back in against the windows. They have the idea of default. They know what they want to do, but look at the fight of Shaiko up top and the clear that might be coming out. Charla is obviously just sort of keeping underneath, but it's achieved. That doesn't even need Geo in the meantime that he's swinging around.
It's not a repeat you want to go for there. Grenades being tossed in, trying to clear out anything that might be on the cool 5 stairs. May it be a player or some utility. Right now they have the opportunity to go for some vertical play. They can open up in these difficult angles to try and make sure that they displace these players of BDS, but they're not really playing on the site. They're playing very, very heavily off the site, you can almost say. They're inside of office, holding these long angles, and if TSM realize this, they have the opportunity to go for a sunrise bar plant, I would say, without anybody being able to actually find a response to it. And as I say that, Rafal rotates back in because they realize that that might be their weak point.
Well, Geo goes down, Bride close swings, Rafal though on the backside of Pillow gets taken by Bolo. It's Bride who's pulled all the way back 10 seconds. There's a man on your right. Oh. You drop him too with the shotgun. Swings for one more, and it's the SMG. Bride. It's another for Bride. The triple goes wide and deep, but doesn't have to. BDS on the back of a Bride clutch. The story is written so consistently.
We call him the best support in Europe for a long while. And he managed to at least make it stick here, manages to get the clutch out when it matters most. Of course it's a 6-1. You had plenty of more rounds available to you if you weren't able to pick up this one, but at least you secure this matchup with a lot of potential here, with a lot of actual momentum that carries on as well, and that might be the most important one. Closing this one off with a 7-1 instead of a 7-2, 7-3, or maybe 7-4. That might be a heavy blow that's necessary to put TSM down.
Well, we'll be taking a quick breather for the players, for us, and obviously for everyone at home before we find ourselves back on the desk after a quick commercial break.